No.
No,
It's,
so I couldn't edit it.
Video high 8.
Okay.
Yeah, that's at minus.
Now, is this supposed to be plugged in here or no?
Yes. It is plugged
that's
in.
her.
No, I'm saying this thing. This is the battery.
No, take the battery out. Thank you. Okay.
Should say
It's
record.
making where will it say record? On the screen it's SP.
Standard play.
Green light.
Green light.
You're seeing me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if I stand up, can you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if I go over here, can you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, we will be
Come on in.
focused right here with
Yes.
Mary.
Pleasure
Can you
to
get
meet you.
focused, Mary? And me and Dr. Watson. I think we'll ask you to sit here.
Hi, Dee. How are you?
Good, how about yourself?
Good, thanks.
Is that light, are we gonna need extra light, do you think?
You have a light back there, don't you?
Mhm.
Does that have a bulb in it? Is it plugged in?
Might be,
It's unplugged, I think.
But you can just lift it up and we can move it over there, close to her. If you need that extra light to illuminate the area of rotation.
Do you want all this recorded now?
Just for your practice, you can get comfortable with it. Turn the green light, red
Jane,
light on
Jane's
and
gonna
off.
edit this.
I'm going to
Okay.
edit
Well, I don't
this.
want to use up all the tape either.
I have plenty of tape.
You may get a reflection now, though, off the window. No?
No.
Yes, well, it depends on.
My rash is on this side.
Rash is on the left side. Okay, so we,
Would you prefer to be over here and I can stand at the door?
Keep the jeans jacket on.
I'm gonna take my t-shirt off too. I have a tank top on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wearing my husband's tank top.
Okay, you want to sit? No, you're going to be there. Okay, the only other person would be if Barbara were here. But, again,
You're not taping, are you?
yeah, you're,
she's on the left.
probably what you're gonna have to do in order to really get this, get the kind of resolution
Are you
you want,
taping?
you're gonna have to roll her up about here.
Are you taping?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you keep it taping now, and when somebody's talking, maybe move to them. Oh, that's a good idea.
Just working a second ago, so we're working now. Yeah, it's kind of sticky. So. There we go. Sorry about
Bright
that.
light there.
Well, let us know when we're. Put it on the lesion, we can just bring it up. So is that it? Are we ready to roll?
I think we're getting ready to roll. This will be Dr. Watson will be there. Jacobson, okay. If Barbara comes in, we'll make place for her.
So should I take my t-shirt off?
Yes. Okay, let me explain. We're at Scripps Clinic with Dr. Jacobson in the neurology department. We have Dr. Joseph Watson with us, medical doctor, osteopathic medicine. We have guest Maxine Seltzer, Jerry Rose. I'm Dr. Jane Dillon, sociologist. We're studying the effects of distant healing treatment in the field of subliminal science and technology, that's what we call it. This is Mary Wahlberg. She's complaining of symptoms of herpes zoster, shingles. She's been diagnosed by a medical doctor today as seeing a rash, and also diagnosed, she will be diagnosed by Dr. Watson right now. We have a blood test taken to confirm the diagnosis. Mary's daughter was seen by Philippe Sauvage 2 years ago for a case of shingles. And maybe we can say just very briefly what happened when you took your daughter, 4-year-old daughter, to Philippe.
We came into the room and he did a 15-minute session and she was healed. She had no pain, no itching, and I was very surprised. and relieved because she was screaming.
Now, the significance of that for our study is that this was a child. She was 4 years old. She was screaming in pain, and then within a few minutes, the pain was gone. There was no belief in this case. There was no placebo. It was a child. She didn't know anybody was taking care of her. She didn't know she was getting any special treatment. In Mary's case, 2 years later, she's developed the same symptoms. It looks and feels like chicken pox. It looks and feels exactly like what Jessica had. The rash is starting to spread and the itching is bothering her and the pain. She was crying this morning in the shower. So we've monitored the pain level and the itching level throughout the day. And it's gone from medium up and down and it's right around. What would you say now?
Medium.
Medium pain, medium itching.
If you were going to rate it on a 10-point scale, where would your pain be? If 0 is no pain and 10 is the worst you've ever experienced.
My head is probably right now about a 7, and my itching is probably about a 6.
So you're-
Itching had been about a 9, I would say, earlier this morning when I first woke up and really started itching very, very badly and noticed the rash.
Are you experiencing head pain?
Yeah, I feel like I was 27 when I had chicken pox, and that's what it felt like the day before I got the rash. I felt like my head had been hit by a freight truck, and earlier today it felt at its worst, and then it subsided, and now it's starting to come back to where it's starting to hurt more, medium, where it was high around 11:30 this morning.
When Dr. Sauvage treated her daughter Jessica, the rash had broken into lesions. They were open, and the pain was severe. Instead of waiting until that happens, Philip's going to treat Mary tonight, although Mary has waited through the day until we could all gather. She's agreed to do that. We're going to try to avoid the pain. The significance for our study of subliminal technology is, even though Mary now believes we cannot eliminate the placebo effect with Mary, she's seen this happen. The significance is Philip is going to treat Mary distant. He will not be present. He will be miles away, 20 miles away. So there is it's non-local. It will demonstrate, if the same results, we get the same results, it will demonstrate the non-local effects of his treatment, whereas the treatment on Jessica demonstrated the subliminal part.
20 miles. This is La Jolla, and Philip is in Vista, most likely.
This is Scripps Clinic in La Jolla, and Philip is in Vista, Escondido area. That's 20 miles away at this moment. Now, would you like to then look at the rash and give us your assessment?
Well, we have just a kind of macular papular rash that for herpes you would expect more along the dermatome. We've got actually a continuation up here that is probably set up because of the way the arm is rubbing against it. It's been transferred to an area that would not commonly have it. Was it lower down, you'd probably expect it to go around more to definitely say it's herpes, but it is a maculopapular rash, and itch is described as would be characteristic. The chickenpox itself is usually a little more scattered, where this is one local, and the herpes zoster comes back in a band, more or less, and this is a band form.
Why do you think it's herpes?
Because when my daughter first got the rash, I thought she was having an allergic, well, I didn't know what it was. I brought her to the doctors, and they said it was an allergic reaction to medicine, because it was just starting in the trunk of her stomach right here. Well, within a couple of days, it gradually moved all the way to the back. And Dr. Philip's wife told me that's shingles, and I said, no, it's not shingles, because my doctor said it was allergic reaction. Anyways, I took her to the doctor, and he diagnosed her with shingles.
So
same
it
day.
looks the same to you?
It looks exactly the same.
Okay. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to page Philip and give him the 3 pieces of information that he needs. He needs the name, the birthplace, and the birth date. Then he will do a treatment, and in 10-15 minutes we will see the result. If you'd like to ask Mary some questions, feel free.
Have you had a headache like when by truck before? Is this a common headache that you get, or is this just one other time?
Just one other time when I had chickenpox. Same headache.
Other rashes? Have there been other rashes that you've experienced?
No, I don't get rashes. I'm not sensitive to detergents, or I don't get rashes.
So how would you say you feel now?
Me right now. My head seems to be increasingly hurting more, and my rash, as long as I leave it alone, it's about medium itch right now.
What have you been doing all day?
I've been keeping ice on it and it seemed to dull the pain a little. What do you mean, what am I doing?
Have you been itching? Have you been in
Yes,
pain?
I've been
What
itching.
have you been doing?
The pain and the itching has gone. It hasn't been a constant. When my daughter first got shingles, I noticed that with her. As long as I kept her busy, she was okay. And every once in a while, the itching seemed to really bother her, and then a half hour later, it seemed she got busy and it wasn't so bad. It wasn't until she was diagnosed, and then later that night when the blistering started happening, that it was constant. There was no time where it didn't hurt.
How would you feel if you weren't going to have relief of this?
Oh, I know I would feel very anxious and.
Hello? Yes, hi Philip.
I would feel.
We're at Scripps, and I have the information you need. All right, the name Mary, Kate, Kate. Mary is two names. Mary Kate is her first and middle name. Her maiden name, her birth name is Gillick, Gillick. Gillick. Wahlberg, Wahl. Wahl. All right. Lberg, Wahlberg. Mary Kate Gillick Wahlberg. The date of birth, place of birth is the Philippines. In Manila Bay, a place called Cavite, Luzon. Kavite. K-A-E. Yes. Luzon. L-U-Z-O-N. Luzon. She says sure as she can be. She doesn't know. Manila Bay, Philippines. Yes, that's the town and the place. Well, she got it off her birth certificate. She called her mother. Kavite Luzon. One letter missing makes a difference. The date, January 13th, 1964. Yes. My time right now is exactly 6:30. You need exactly 1 minute from now. Okay, she will close her eyes for 4 minutes, 5 minutes in 1 minute, and totally relax. Okay, after 5 minutes, she will open her eyes, observe what's going on, and then we will observe the reactions for a half an hour. Very good, all right, so we will give you 1 minute when we hang up the phone. Exactly 1 minute, and then she will be ready for 5 minutes, then she will open her eyes after 5 minutes. Okay? Thank you, Philippe. Exactly 1 minute. Does anybody have a timer?
Yes.
Exactly 45 seconds now. One minute.
Yeah. About 35 seconds.
It's been 35 seconds?
No, now it's just
Do you want
minute.
Mhm.
Minute.
Okay, you relax completely. Eyes closed for 5 minutes.
Right.
Push your arm down to relax.
That's good. Just relax. Completely relax.
That's 4 minutes.
Another minute, and stay relaxed. God's good.
That's the additional minute.
So that's 5 minutes?
That's 5 minutes after the initial minute.
That's
It's
right.
only 6 minutes.
All right.
Go ahead and have another peek at the motion to turn on.
Say we're gonna monitor now for about 10, 20 minutes. How do you feel?
Any different?
Keep telling us we're gonna monitor now for about 10,
Okay.
15 minutes. How are you feeling?
Well, my head feels pretty good. Should I touch it to see?
Sure, do whatever you need to do.
Oh, it looks like it should itch. It looks the same to me, that I'm touching it, and the feeling that I had when I touched it before, it has subsided. I still can feel a little, but it doesn't feel the same. It looks like it should hurt, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So isolate.
It looks the
Yeah.
same.
Yes.
Tell us what it feels like. We can't feel what you're
How,
feeling.
what, again, by that 0 to 10, what are
Right
you
now,
sensing? Yes.
feeling it. Well, see, I don't feel the itch right now, but touching it, I feel, probably like a 3.
So by comparison to 6 earlier, it's now
Yeah.
a 3.
Yeah.
And where's your head discomfort now on the old 10-point scale?
Like 1. My head feels fine.
Wow.
My head doesn't hurt anymore.
It's gone from a 7 to a 1.
This is where,
Tell us what it feels like. You're
No,
going
go
to
ahead.
tell us.
She's trying.
I just did. I feel, the rash part, just holding it up like right now, probably feels like a 1.5, like it should be itching. But when I touch it, it's about a 3.
Oh, I see.
The part under your arm, this part of your butt, that
Right here?
looks smaller.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I was gonna say
definitely
also.
It looks
Smaller.
like it's
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
It ha-
It's not
Yeah,
as
a
it's not as
third of the
intense.
size.
It's not as intense as it was.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I've never seen this before. I didn't see this
Are you
happen to
videoing
your
this?
daughter.
Mhm.
I've never seen this, and I saw it earlier.
Mhm.
And it looks
It looks like
totally
it's
different. It looks
getting
just like a
smaller and
pink
smaller.
skin.
The primary spot would be expected to be underneath the arm,
Mhm.
along
Yeah.
with the dermatome.
Right.
And so that's most likely what would be treated. The other's like a secondary one, and it may have a different time in responding.
Sure.
Is there anything back here happening? We were itching over your back, and
Yeah, well, I had this scratch for a day, and there was no rash.
right.
It wasn't until later
Been
that
itching
night.
for several days. Yes.
Yeah, and so my back has been itching just for the last hour or 2. I just noticed it started itching, and
What's
it doesn't
happening
itch right now, but it wasn't, it was more like when this first started itching. It wasn't like, it was, if I touched it, it itched. It was just, every once in a while it would itch and I'd itch it, but this is more like, this is what this was at the beginning stage.
Uh-huh.
My back was feeling more like,
Do you have any itch in your back now?
no.
So the itch that you were starting to develop that was
I
similar
am, yeah.
to the original itch that you
No.
had under your on your side there has
Yeah.
gone away totally.
Yeah,
Since the
for my
treatment.
back, yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
And how's your head? That slight 1, is that gone now, or
Oh, well, 1, that would be feeling good, right?
I don't know.
Or would there be a
0, 0. Right now I have
You
a
were
1 from the
0
tension.
is, 0 is
I know.
0 is no pain.
Yeah, 0
Okay,
no pain.
then, well, I think we're pretty close to 0. Yeah, I would
Let's
say
wait
0.
Let's wait a few minutes
Every
and
5
see if
minutes.
it's for real.
So, when would we expect to see the rash subsiding?
I don't know that we have an expectation yet. We've not seen this. I've not seen a shingles taken care of this early in its stage. The 2 shingles cases that we have that Philippe treated from California to New York, which you've all seen that documentation, were cases of shingles that had already gone 3 or 4 days after the outbreak. And in those cases, the pain went away right away. The itching was minimal 4 hours later. The next day, the lesions were drying up and going away and took a few days to go away. In Jessica's case, the daughter, what happened? 'Cause
The pain was gone immediately. All the itching pain was gone right away, and her rash, it stayed for about a week, gradually subsiding, and then the actual redness, where you could see, was there for about a month, and then it was gone. There's no sign, no scarring. You would look at her and you would never know she'd had shingles.
And that was one treatment?
That was one treatment, yeah.
That's unusual that there's no scarring with Jessica's lesions, that there would be some
She
slight
had it
something later.
I've
apparently.
never seen shingles, but it was really
Really bad.
blister. It was really bad.
So we don't
Chicken
know
pox.
what's going to happen with Mary because Philip Sauvage has not treated a case that I've seen this early. So anything's possible with this rash. We could visibly watch it go away.
A shared patient that had primary pulmonary hypertension, and he was able to work on her for a while and to get the hypertension to go away, but the heart muscle itself was quite large. And on the ultrasound follow-up, the tech wanted to call the emergency squad to be ready for heart failure, and asked her if she had problem getting to the elevator to go up. And she says, "Elevator, I took the stairs." And the heart was so large, and the patient was a little disappointed that her heart was so large, but the disease process had been gotten away with. The exercise that the heart had been doing during that disease process was going to take a while to go away. So, and I imagine that everyone is a unique individual, and I think that that's what Philip talks about, and how our uniqueness is kind of our gift back to the earth, and we need to find our uniqueness instead of being mainstreamed into what people that want things to be a certain way have us going, and we lose our uniqueness and our benefit to society by mainstreaming ourselves.
By treating it this early, same with the 3rd-degree burns. The earlier, the better, because he's able to bypass the effects that burn or a shingles disease would create. He's able to shift into a different reality, help her shift into a different reality where fire doesn't burn and there's no disease. And then the body then follows suit.
Yeah.
If it isn't burned, then it doesn't
It
act
goes-
like
goes
it's
back to-
burned.
Goes back to
to
health.
its normal, healthy state.
And
Yes.
the away from health that's already been manifest is replaced by the health that's within the system.
Yes. And he's able to do that by tapping into what he calls the psychocontinuum, which is a state of non-separability of all life, that we're all connected. And at that level, he's able to take care of the person while the person is restoring their own balance where they can then take care of themselves. It's like training a child to ride a bike. I watched a father do that yesterday. He holds the bike, follows around while the child's learning to ride the bike. So that is apparently what Philip Sauvage is able to do until the person is then able to restore their own health. It's called a state of entropy, a state of destruction. The body is destroying, and he reverses it and so that it's revitalized.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to excuse myself.
Do you want to take one more look before you go?
Sure.
Let's hear a quick report now. What are you?
Okay, the rash itself, visual, huh? Okay,
Thank you.
hi.
Bye, Maxie.
the kind of rash where you feel like it itches, that is at about 1.5. The touching of it is about, oh, it's even better, about a 2.5, I would say, and my head still doesn't hurt.
Are you glad?
This morning I was crying. I was going, oh, please let me be able to get a hold of Philip. I didn't know if he had moved or what.
Mhm.
But
Is this what you expected?
yeah, I know he can heal me. It's just this whole, I'm still a little bit of a skeptic, but I've seen it work with my daughter, and so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be fine. I'm not going to be screaming in 4 days. I know that for sure. I do know that.
What do we do from this point in terms of follow-up and following this through? What's the procedure?
We're going to
Maybe half an hour?
observe for half an hour,
Mhm.
and we're going to document that. And Mary has my phone number.
Well, I'm just wondering if we do follow-up video on this for a period of 4 days, or, I mean, what's
Probably a good idea until the rash goes away. Do you have a video camera at home, Mary?
Yeah, I think I do. If I don't, I have someone who does.
And maybe your husband could take a, like at the same time, maybe every day, or I don't know what your recommendations would be, but a couple of times a day. I'm very curious from the standpoint of marketing, and that what I want to be able to do is go out to people and say, this is what we saw, as we look at different opportunities for Philip and Jane and
Right.
how we help them with their business.
Okay.